It is necessary to purge the
What
establishment.
she's suggesting that churches do, focus on.
That's not necessarily a good thing to start
Yeah,
with.
they're stating it
wasn't around when we needed the greatest generation of the 30s or 40s or.
It happened before the election because there are too many Republicans that are afraid that their wrongdoings are going to.
It's unacceptable, and I'm not going to sit here, stay silent, and not call it out. I'm calling out their lies.
Do they think that we are so stupid that we will not notice and find out?
Doing. You are over here with me on the YouTube, not you slackers that are staying over here down on the TikTok. You're going to come over with me. I give you a taste. I told you that you're going to get a taste, but really my focus is here. My focus is with you on the YouTube. You suckers down here, I want you coming on over. A few things to talk about tonight. I'll give you the sort of the preview, what we're going to talk about tonight. The first one we'll talk about is our peaceful protest going on with our neighbors to the north. Kudos to you. And then we're going to be talking about the disaster that is happening in Eastern Europe and where that came from. Spoiler alert, Joe Biden. And let me start off with, I think, what is a badge of honor. I got my first warning on the YouTube. I do my best to circumvent, to skirt, to talk around, and they somehow found me. So we're gonna delve into it. They told me that I didn't follow with WHO and local medical guidelines that I'm supposed to follow. You all know me. I do my absolute best to talk around this crap. I'm talking to you guys down here on TikTok too. You get a little bit longer, then I need you to come over to YouTube. I do my best to talk around this because I want to stay up and I want to get to the biggest audience. You've heard me mention this in the past. There are other folks who say that's not First Amendment. Say what you got to say. If they take you down, come back. Well, that being said, is great. But when we have a larger audience, we're reaching more people. If I can use my skills and my ability to talk around something, then that's something I'm going to want to do. So we're going to keep pressing on that. We're going to do the investigation on it, try to figure out what it was. I'm solid. I'm certain that we have some ground to stand on to get that warning taken away. The problem is once you get one, you start getting affected by it. It's going to be harder and harder to get that reach. Which is why I rely on you all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends about it. If you're over here on the TikTok, go over to the YouTube, help the algorithm, help me, help you. Jump on over to YouTube, folks. The things that you're writing here, we'll put them right on the screen for you. You'll be YouTube famous. I mean, how much more can you ask for? Obviously, I was bummed, annoyed, pissed off. That's not a swear one. My producer doesn't like me to swear. Obviously, if you have followed me over from the TikTok, you know that swearing is my language. Hey, I got Maria jumping over here from TikTok. Thank you so much for jumping over. You are awesome. I got Shake Cat over here as well. You guys rock. We're really going to build something over here. 2 Cent from Virginia. One of my daughters was born in Virginia, in Fishersville, actually, if you know where that is, not far from Waynesboro, not far from Charlottesville. I love seeing you guys jump on here. Get your comments in here along the bottom. I'll be sure to interact with you. All right. Enough about me. Well, it's never enough about me. Do you want more about me? I feel like everybody wants more about me. I'm with me all day and I want more about me. You might notice that tonight we're going no sunglasses. That's kind of a lot for me. If you guys don't know, quick recap. I was in a plane crash, some damage to my eye. My pupil no longer closes. As a result, bright lights are kind of tough. We're going to do what we can because, I don't know, the sunglasses, I mean, it was fun for a while, but I do like being able to see. I do like being able to see clearly what you all write to me down at the bottom. So we're going to try this. I did go live beforehand on the TikTok, which you guys get a little bit more, and then I'm kicking you out of here. I did go live ahead of time and I asked, should I do sunglasses or should I do regular? And it seemed like the consensus was both. So at some point, we're probably going to switch over. But if you guys keep writing to me, I'll need to be able to see across the bottom. All right, enough about that. Freedom is breaking out. Freedom is breaking out. And I'm really, really glad to see the way that it's being done, not the way that it's being portrayed. And I got to tell you what, guys, down here, if you want to know, if you want these 2 cents, you got to go on over to the YouTube. That's it. You Audi 5000. All right, guys, it's just us. I'm really happy to see the way that this is being done. Peaceful protest is the way to do it, not violent. No violence, no vandalism, no tearing down of statues, even though mainstream media would have you believe that's exactly what's happening. I had a report from MSNBC. I think it was from Morning Joe. A bunch of hacks who, by the way, had an adulterous relationship with each other, which nobody likes to talk about. So yeah, they're definitely credible people. They were committing adultery with their co-host, but whatever, they're trustworthy. We should definitely listen to them. They were talking about how there's been severe vandalism and there has been violence in the area. And of course, no video, no pictures. Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for jumping over. Jump in there with your questions, comments, concerns. Shake Cat, you got mentioned. You are awesome. They're, of course, starting to spin the narrative. Thank you, Kathy, for being here. They're spinning the narrative that they're being violent. What did they leave out? Hey, Megan. Or hopefully it's Megan. Megan. Hopefully, I'm sorry. What they have left out is that they had to sign a contract if they were to be a part of this. And they signed that contract, which said, thou shalt not be violent. Did we see that over the summer of 2020? Did we see that in Portland as they were firing fireworks into federal buildings? Did we see that in CHOP or Chaz or whatever it was called, where they set up an autonomous zone, which sounded like an invasion to me? Did we see any of that? Do we see any of that when you have Kamala Harris sending bail money to people who were arrested during fiery but mostly peaceful protests? Did we see anybody signing contracts and being held to account? No, but we got that going up in Canada. As I've heard folks say up there, I've lived in the far north. I've heard it enough. Canada, that's how they say it. It was brought to me during TikTok, and I've thought about it myself. What are my thoughts on the idea that it's not America leading the way in the fight for freedom? Another thing you're not seeing is what's happening in European countries. Mass gatherings, large, mass, peaceful gatherings of folks pushing back against any mandates. And of course, if the overlords of YouTube want to take a look at this, I am by no means a doctor. I am by no means making recommendations about any medical procedures. I am not here to talk about the efficacy of any medical procedures. I am not a doctor. I'm an American. I'm a citizen. I have a microphone. I have a voice. And I'm going to talk about how people are pushing back against any mandates from their government. That's what I'm here to talk about. Back to the idea of it's not America leading the way. And why is that? And I've thought about this. I think one of the major contributing factors is the idea that we have 50 individual states. Down here in Florida, as my father would pronounce it, we're free. And we've been free. We have a governor and a legislative body that is here to protect our rights, which is how this is supposed to work. Not grant us rights, protect our rights. That's what government exists to do. We have certain unalienable rights, which predate government, and therefore it is the job of government to protect those rights. And that's what we're doing down here in Florida. They're doing it in other states as well. I can think of Texas and South Dakota. And if you're one of those states, please jump in here and let me know. I'd love to see it. I think that's why we're not seeing the mass overall protests against it, because the freedom is out there if you want it. We're having 1,000 families a day and have been moving to Florida every day. Folks are leaving. They're going to Texas. They're going to other, Tennessee is one of the leaders actually. And all I ask folks is remember to not vote for the same policies that caused you to leave. Megan, I appreciate you jumping in. Canada is amazing. I'm happy to see what's going on up there. I'm really happy to see it. Speaking of which, thank you for catching the podcast, Jennifer. Be sure to share it with your folks. Since your boy is kind of big, kind of important, people send me stuff. So someone reached out, save these comments for me, Juan. Someone reached out, sent me a video from Canada. They wanted us to see it. We're going to go ahead and put it out forward. Juan, give us a Trucker Cut 1, the first one that I sent you earlier. Let's see what's going up in Canada. That's the one. Love it. Love it. Peaceful, inspiring. Hold your signs up. Be heard. All right, bring me back one. You know the one that upsets me in there, I don't know if you guys caught it. It's very common. This is the part that upsets me. It's very common in Canada to actually mount their flags to a hockey stick. I believe it's their national sport. Everyone up there plays hockey. But if you didn't see it, someone actually had their flag mounted upside down. I'm not making commentary about what led them to do that. Freedom, go ahead and mount your flag upside down. I feel bad that you feel like your flag should be flown upside down. I feel bad that you are put in a position that you feel that your flag, which is a sign of surrender, your flag is upside down. I'm not making commentary about you or what you're going through. I feel bad. I feel really bad that you're feeling like your flag should be hung upside down. That's the symbol of you, your family, your province, your city. And I said province. I know a little bit about Canada. I feel really bad about that. I do keep my American flag mounted. I thought about the idea myself, but for me, and no commentary on that person, I know they feel the distress. I know they feel that. I know their government has been far more strict and tyrannical, if you ask me, than my government has. Fortunately, we have strong federalism in this country, which, despite what they're trying to do, where they take over, I don't know if you've noticed this. Go search federalism. The first result you're going to see is a strong central federal government, which is an absolute lie. That is not what federalism is. Federalism is how we actually sold and got the idea of a federal government, the Constitution, ratified, was to let folks know the federal government actually existed to protect you, the individual, and your rights, to protect the minority, and to protect you from the other lower levels of government. They try to commandeer that and say that it's the idea that we want a strong central government with overarching powers. No, we want very limited federal government, and that's what it's supposed to be. So fortunately, we've been living here where we have strong federalism, at least in my state, because we have Ron DeSantis, your next president. Even though, man, Trump is he's making a push again. I think he smells that blood in the water. You want to digest a little bit? Are we going to digest a little bit? We're gonna go. Who saw the rally? You had to look for it because the media wasn't going to show it to you. We're going to digest here. I know the word is digress. We have fun. We're going to digest here a little bit. They're not going to show it to you because they learned their lesson from 2015 and 2016. They used to show Donald J. Trump rallies in an effort to get the ratings from it and then to mock him. They'd mock him during and after, before, during, and after. And unfortunately, what actually happened was his message got to more and more people. While CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and the like were all just eating up those ratings and getting all the advertising dollars from Donald J. Trump's rallies. We actually also let him. I got a message from Juan that it was on RAM. If you guys want that going forward, please check us out, ramtv.live, Right America Media on Facebook. And you guys can check out some more of that behind the scenes stuff. My producer, Juan, veteran, patriot, originally from Puerto Rico, strong conservative, religious man. And he's the one who's doing all the work for us here on Right America Media. And he's building a network out there. And he has people everywhere that are giving us inside information that you're not necessarily inside information, inside look, getting you that video, getting you the pictures, getting the pulse of people who are actually there, all the things that the media refuse to do. So check us out, ramtv.live, Right America Media on Facebook. Juan has done a lot of hard work for us to build this network. Jennifer says she loves living in Florida. I absolutely love it as well. Donald J. Trump, if you didn't see it, recently had, Kathy, come live here and vote red. Donald J. Trump recently, there was a TikTok I saw of him, and he was about to tee off, and he's placing the ball down. And whoever's recording says, "You're 45th president of the United States," and Trump stands up as Trump would and says 45th and 47th. And he's really he's putting it out there, and he's starting to phrase things in his rallies of, if I were and I came back, should I come back, this would be. He's really, really smelling it. Love seeing you here, Dolores from Florida. I have long said that I don't think necessarily that he was going to run in 24, but that he would probably enjoy his position as kingmaker. All Republican roads lead through Mar-a-Lago. That being said, he has seen the disaster that is this first year. He's going to see the red tsunami that is 2022, and you are going to get out and vote. If you watch me at all, you know that is the going message for 2022. I'm going to beat you over the head with it. The election integrity is there. 19 states have passed 34 laws. How do I know they're going to work? Because the media has lost their mind about it. Because the federal government is trying to pass HB1 in the House of Representatives and SB1, Senate Bill 1 in the Senate. They want to federalize the elections. They want to decide where your districts are drawn. They want to decide what laws you can and can't pass at the local level. If these laws did not have teeth, the media and the Democrats would not be going nuts. It's amazing how many people were just on the side of the road cheering on. How amazing was that? How amazing was that? And that's from Vancouver all the way on the west to Ottawa, which is 7/8 of the way across. It's not quite Montreal to the east, if you know your geography at all. Supporting from Arizona, that's awesome. I can't move there because it's too chaotic. Well, come on down because it's not nearly what the what the media tells you it is. Thank you for reporting the truth. I do try my best, Karen. I do. I definitely do. So we digested there a little bit talking about Trump. I think he sees blood in the water. Um, we're going to have a red tsunami that happens here in November. I'm going to be very disappointed with you all if you do not vote. I do not want to hear from you that your vote doesn't count. Your vote absolutely counts. The voter integrity is there. We know it because the media has lost their mind about it. The media has lost their mind about the voter integrity, not voter suppression. The voter integrity laws that have been put in place, which is why they're trying to, at the federal level, federalize the voting and all elections that we have. The voting integrity is there. You're going to vote and you're going to talk to your friends. And the next time you hear your friends say, oh, I'm not going to vote, you're going to vote because my boy 2 Cent told me, showed me this is what's going on. And he's right. And we're going to vote. All right. I have one more from Canada. Give me Trucker Cut 2. I love seeing this peaceful protest. Give me one more one. Beautiful. Sound of freedom. Music to my ears. Bring it on back, Juan. Bring me on back, Juan. There I am. Man, I'm so good looking. I don't know if I got the lighting right tonight, but I'm pretty good looking. I saw another video where they are honking their horns all night long. Do it. Do it. It is 100% peaceful, but you're being heard. Honk those horns. You guys are doing the good work. You are an inspiration. America sees you. We appreciate you. The world is seeing you. I'm so thankful that the Canadians did this. They do live in a much more oppressive world than we do. They definitely don't have the freedom of speech that we purport to have down here. He is going to get rid of the mandates so I can nurse again. Trump? Yeah, you could bet that's going to happen like immediately. Immediately. The open border ready to collapse the stock market along with the oil pipelines, possible war with Russia. That's all Biden. We're going to talk about that here in a second. That's all the doing of Biden. The truckers up north. One more. He doesn't say 24 because he's already coming back. I don't know about that, guys. I like to have fun with it too, but I don't know about that. The Canadian truckers, the American truckers that are up there as well. You guys are a shining example of what peaceful protest is and what peaceful protest is going to do for you. I was a moment ago talking about the idea that Canada doesn't really enjoy the same levels of speech. You had their prime minister say that this was a small fringe right-wing group with, I think it was unapproved or unacceptable views. Can you imagine unacceptable views being something that people accepted down here? It makes me want to kick a donkey. It's the most ridiculous thing that I could possibly hear of an unapproved or unacceptable thought. Mind melting for me. Again, one more time to our Canadian friends to the north. You guys are a shining beacon of what peaceful protest is. That's also going on in Europe as well. Of course, they're not going to show it to you here. If you guys want, I could pull some of that video for you. We can bring it up next time. But one more time, I know I keep saying it. I'm impressed. I'm absolutely impressed. You're being heard. You're a beacon. You're a shining light. I love you guys. Let's move on to topic number 2, which someone just mentioned, the idea of Russia. And I was on another podcast over the weekend, and they said, what did I think was going to come from it? There's not war. There's not World War III. You guys have to remember that Ukraine is not on NATO. NATO was designed to have an allyship against the USSR. The USSR fell, became Russia. Russia is now on NATO. NATO can, and because of that, Russia can keep the Ukraine, however it's said, from joining NATO. Therefore, it's not the idea of NATO is if there's an attack on one of us, there's an attack on all of us, which is basically to say if you attack me and my small little nation, you're essentially attacking the United States. That's the point of it. Do you find interesting how Russia, China, and North Korea are all testing the waters lately? Thank you for segueing into my point. This was exactly a result of what happened after the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I said it then. This has Kim Jong-un of North Korea, Xi Jinping from China, and Vladimir Putin, your boy knows his dictators, licking their chops. Now what I've predicted, and you know I can see the future, now what I've predicted is they're going to start from our side saying this is not a result of Afghanistan, because what happened in Afghanistan happened in August and September, and we're several months later before any of this happened. Yes, not every country is America and can mobilize its troops right now. We have our Navy, which means we're present around the world. They'll be there today. And we have our Air Force, which will be there tonight. Then we can actually get units forward ASAPly. We can set up a unit right now. We can send over whomever we need, and we're doing it. We're getting them over. We can do this in days. It takes these other nations that don't have the logistical support, the logistics in place in general, the money, the wherewithal. It takes them months. They got to get their equipment working again, which has probably been sitting in a yard, not inspected. They got to get the equipment going. They got to plus up their forces if they're using reserves and the like. They need to get the beans and bullets in place. They need to get the transportation lines. Logistics is massive when you are a country that doesn't have your logistics in order, which of course they don't. So I could see the future. You know that. And they're going to start spinning this as this is definitely not a result of Afghanistan, because if it were, it would have happened sooner. But that's obviously not the point. North Korea has been launching their rockets again, which go over Japan, which last I remember stopped under Trump. Trump actually crossed the DMZ. They started negotiations of peace talks. Remember, also under Trump, we were supposed to have World War III, and instead peace was breaking out in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords. The way you say Putin is cute. Is it supposed to be different? Vladimir Putin? Putin? I don't know. I'm glad you think so. Yes, this is all a result of a weak government that we have. You know what else feeds into it? The image of what our military is being turned into. And I have someone here saying that Russia should be handled by Europe and not America. Remember, we do have allies over there, so we do have to work with them. All right, Juan, give me Dumb Pent, I think I called it. Dumb Pent. Give me that video, and I'll give you my reaction on the other side.
I think a lot of it, quite frankly, is driving a stake through a straw man here. This argument of wokeness in the military. I was in the military for 30 years, and I can tell you things like diversity and inclusion. That makes us a better military because it brings to the fore in the decision making, operational decision making that we conduct, better ideas, more unique perspectives, somebody else's lived experiences, which might actually make us smarter on the battlefield. So I mean, those kinds of arguments, I think are ridiculous.
Dumbest thing I've heard, and I don't know how long, and you guys know I read CNN and watch MSNBC all the time. Dumbest thing I've heard, and I cannot tell you how long. Lived experiences. Lived experiences are what we're going to turn to when we go, hey, are we going to go after that HVT, that high value target? And I'm knife handing right now, so you know I'm going back to my days. Hey, are we going to go after that HVT? Well, I don't know. Jimmy, what's your life experiences? What about you, Susie? What do your life experiences say? Are we going to go after that HVT? Are we going to infiltrate? Are we bringing air support with us? Do we have the Marines taking care of this, or do you want the Air Force to work with the Army on this one? Are we sending TACPs out there with this one? Are we using Navy assets? Well, I don't know. What's Tommy's lived experiences? What are their lived experiences? Do we have enough diversity in this room? First of all, I don't know if we should be doing this. I don't see enough diversity around here. I see too many people that look like me. We can't possibly. What are we talking about? Dumbest thing I've ever heard of. You bring in the best from the United States, which is everyone, all shades, colors, races, creeds, sexualities, everything that you are. Bring it. You are the best. Come here, and then we're going to train you. Do you know what we train people to do in the military? I pause. I want you to answer. Yell it at the screen. Yell it at the screen. What do we train people to do in the military? We train people to kill people and break their stuff. That's what we do. That's what the military does. We kill people and we break their stuff. That's what we're really good at. And this guy, 30 years in the military, looked him up. He's a PR officer. Yeah, good for you. You made 1 star. That's really cool. That's awesome. Leave the war fighting to the war fighters. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. We need lived experiences in there when we're talking strategy. Which part of the country are you from? I'm from the Northwest. We already got one of you. Get out. Where are you from? I'm from the Southeast. Okay, I could use one of you to figure out how we're going to infiltrate China. How are we going to get in there? How are we going to get our intelligence assets in there to sway the hearts and minds ahead of time? You know, the things that we actually do in war? No, I need somebody from the upper Midwest because I don't have anybody from Chicago. I need where's my Chicago guy? I need a Chicago guy in here so we can decide if we're going to use Air Force or Navy assets today. Dumbest thing. PR officer. That's what that guy was. Good for you. Thanks for serving. I'm sure you're a fine, upstanding American. I had a guy I've worked with, and he uses that as a way to, it's like bless your heart down here in the South. If you're from the South, you know what that means. Or I'll pray for you. When someone says, I'll be praying for you, that's not a, that's not a compliment. I'll be praying for you, or bless your heart. when you hear someone in the military say, I'm sure he's a fine, upstanding American, same genre. Okay, I'm getting off of that. The dumbest thing I've heard, and I can't tell you how long. The wokeness of the military. When we have a cartoon as our recruiting advertisements, a cartoon. What are you going to draw in with that? What is Russia looking at when we're using a cartoon to recruit people? I don't care if your mom married your other mom. That's a, who knows what aircraft that is? Who knows what aircraft? We don't want to find him. Who knows it? Juan probably doesn't even know what that is. Can't even see it. Juan was a tanker guy. You're a tanker guy, right? Not all of us are tip of the spear, buddy. You were just a cargo guy, huh? Yeah, well, someone's got to bring me my bombs so I can drop them. Oh. All right. We have our fun. Some of us are tip of the spear. No, go away. This is my show. Okay, that was an F-117, by the way, which has 0 air-to-air capabilities. There's a long story about that. I don't know. He's pointing at himself, but we're here to talk about me. You knew what it was. Good for you. All right. So what is Russia thinking? They're thinking we have a weak-kneed administration. We have a guy like that who's pushing that we need diversity in our decision-making for war. I'm sure there's a general over there laughing his ass off. I'm laughing. And there's generals over here. Oh, Juan flew F-117s. No, you did not. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, I'll believe him. Anyway, I digest. We're having some fun tonight. Yeah, obviously the Russians are laughing at us when we do this sort of stuff. This is not for me to say those are serving are less than when I served. You guys are great. We appreciate you. We have the best serving us. What I'm doing is I'm mocking your leadership. I'm not mocking you. I know you're doing the hard work. I know you have bad leaders above you. I know that they are watering down your training. I know that they are taking away your abilities to run functionally and to do things in a functional manner. This isn't on our war fighters. This is on your bad leadership. So let me take a step back. We're having fun. I think we know the gentle ribbing that we all do. Thank you, Karen. I think we all know the interagency joking that we have. I'm upset that you guys are having to serve under this administration. I hope that's coming across sincerely. I'm not trying to be sarcastic here at all. I feel bad that you have to serve under this administration, and we appreciate what you're doing. This is a lot harder than when I served and I had support. We had support, and I feel like that you guys are not being supported. Okay, I hope that came across the right way. Going forward in the last couple minutes that we have here, I think this is going to end up being us capitulating for some negotiations. Whether or not those negotiations are made public, I have no idea. Some pallets of money might be dropped off. Some more drilling leases are opened up. Some pipelines are allowed to happen. Perhaps some beans and hopefully not bullets are sent to allies. There's a lot of posturing here, and we're doing a bit of saber rattling, but peace through strength is a proactive action. It is not a reactive action. We should have already let them know, I mean it. Don't try it. Across this line, you shall not cross. This aggression shall not stand. Who knows what movie that's from? We do the movie quotes here as well. We're going to get pushed around. We're going to capitulate on something. We have weak-kneed leaders. We have weak-kneed advisors. I do hope this doesn't break out into war. I don't see that being the case. We're not going to go to war, but we're going to get pushed around on the world stage, which is going to embolden China, which is going to embolden North Korea. And of course, once you start getting pushed around by one, you're going to get pushed around by more. Then thankfully, hopefully, we get Donald J. Trump back in there. If not Donald J. Trump, Ron DeSavage. If not Ron DeSavage, Donald J. Trump. With that being said, I appreciate everyone who's being here. I do have another host coming on after me. I'll plug her in a second. First, I don't know if you know this, but we do have a sponsorship here because we are very cool. We have a sponsorship from MyPillow. So head on over to mypillow.com. I want you to use the promotional code RAM, RAM, Romeo Alpha Mike, for you cooler types. RAM. I have a MyPillow pillow, or is it a MyPillow? I have their sheets. They're great. I love them. You can get some pretty serious discounts by using our promotion code RAM on mypillow.com. KSoK, Uncensored. She's deep in blue territory in the upper northwest, upper Pacific Northwest. And she's law enforcement family herself. She has a really great guest on tonight. I would love for you all to jump over there. KSoK is on next. I appreciate everyone who's been here. Have a good night.
Hi, my name is Tammy. I live in Winkler, Manitoba, Canada. And I'm going to be on KSoK Uncensored. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about what has been going on in Canada and many places in the world for the last 2 years. And mainly now we're going to focus on the Freedom Convoy 2022, which has been taking place all week starting this last Sunday. So yeah, that's where we're going to be at, and lots to talk about. It's very exciting.
When governments fail to respect people's rights, we all end up paying.
Here started off as a convoy, and now it's brought people from coast to coast in this country, the United States, and around the globe.
It's really encouraging to finally see a representation of what so many of us have been feeling for so long. It brings us to tears.
With this mandate, he is no longer able to provide for his family.
So lockdowns are more dangerous than the so-called COVID.
I'm just here for everybody's freedom. They're just saying that we're white supremacists. They're saying that we're racist. I haven't seen any of that.
We don't want to live by fear anymore. We want to live by love and freedom.
I'm coming. People are standing up. They've had enough. For the first time in 2 years, they're coming together. They're united. They want their country back.
Today we have a special guest. We have Tammy from Manitoba, Canada. We are going to discuss the Freedom Convoy happening up north and now positively impacting the United States as we have many U.S. truckers joining in. Tammy, come on in. Thank you so much for being here. Yay,
My
this
pleasure.
worked.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, and I'm glad to chat with you and yeah, fill you in on what's going on from my end.
I love it because, you know, honestly, we're not seeing, unless we make a point to go on and to follow the convoy on social media and really seek out what's happening. The mainstream media is not sharing this with us. And I even hear Justin Trudeau saying things like, this is like a fringe, a fringe outsider group, making it seem like this little tiny movement. But in fact, it's so much bigger than that. What are you seeing up north?
Absolutely. Like he calls it a fringe minority, and Canadians have lovingly adopted that as our new title. And he probably wasn't expecting us to take what he meant as an insult and just kind of grab onto it in a kind of ironic way.
The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing.
And yeah, it's just been the last week and a half where they started talking about doing this convoy. I'm sure the talks were happening maybe prior to that, but before we heard about it. And I got excited about it right from the start, and I think everybody did, because we've all been just so sick and tired of living our life scared. Get together with your family and you're scared you're gonna have the cops knock on the door. It just isn't right, and somebody needed to do something, and we just didn't know who's gonna do what. And the truckers took that bull by the horns, and they are making it happen in a big way.
I was a nurse for decades. I left nursing a while ago. I believe in vaccinations. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but enough is enough. Our kids, my son, he's 7, and all he talks about is he wants his childhood back. He's sick of wearing a mask at school. He cries to go to school, but he loves school. So, I want my Canada back. I want freedom. And so do you, right, buddy? Yeah.
Where are you from? You from the area, GTA?
We're from down the road.
Why is it important for you to be here today?
Because I would love to have our freedoms back. I would love for everybody else to have their freedoms back. Because you know what? Vax, unvax, I don't care. But you can't take away our freedoms. It's not right. We've been living in this country for so long, and we have certain rights and freedoms that our veterans fought for, and one man is taking it away. Why? Ask him.
And the one man is Justin Trudeau in your mind.
That's him.
This started. This convoy of trucks started in BC, and they were upset about vaccine mandates for crossing the border. Do you feel that it's snowballed into lots of different issues for people as it's arrived here in Toronto?
There is so many different issues that people have, whether it's the Aboriginals and their rights and their drinking water that they don't have, or their children and the history that they lost, or whether it's our elderly, or whether it's our youth and the schools and all the rights that have been taken away from our youth, and all these masks that are starting to affect their mental capability and their social aspects. It's just not right, man. We need our country back.
We're here to end this tyranny of government. We've had enough of this. We've had enough of the shutdowns. We've had enough of it. It's time to stand up for ourselves. We're fighting for the country. We're fighting for everybody. We need our lives back. It's not about vaccine. It's about our lives.
Do you think there should be a balance between, trying to treat people in hospital and keep people out of hospital and the, mandates that are put in place through this pandemic?
After 10 years of driving a truck because they can't do it to cross the border, there's an issue.
You feel like this, this started out in BC, and it was truckers pissed off that they can't cross the border if they're not vaccinated. As it's come across the country, it seems to have picked up steam with lots of different people with lots of different issues. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
Well, when you think about that, all these different opinions, all this, all these people coming out, what does that say to you?
It says Canada's standing together, and everybody is fighting for their freedom.
We sat there for about 2.5 hours on the side of the road, but there was, I don't know, I would say a couple of thousand people there, and most of us were standing outside at least for part of the time, but some of the people were out there the whole time, just waiting. And once they started coming in, like the excitement just grew. We have such hope that this is going to change things. This is going to get our freedom back. This is going to, give the kids a chance just to be kids. And there have been so many people who have taken their children out of public school and gone to homeschooling because their kids don't want to, be muzzled all day.
Right. Exactly. No, you're so right. I don't know if you even know this, like I'm a homeschool mom. This is the first year that we are homeschooling. And it's for that very reason. I am not sending my kids to school to wear a mask for 7 hours a day. That's one piece of it. The other piece is all the indoctrination. I mean, they are after our youth. And, what you just said really resonates with me. We want our kids to have a normal life, right? Like, it's so wild what our kids, across the globe, but what kids are dealing with today in comparison to what we dealt with. And I feel the same way. We just want our kids to experience normalcy, and that's why we fight, right? So I think it's fantastic. And I want to just say, I am seeing Elon Musk. He says, truckers rule. He put that on his, I believe, Twitter.
Canadian truckers rule. Like that is
Canadian truckers rule. Yes. I mean, that's so awesome that we're seeing. He really is an amazing, an outspoken businessman and just so incredibly powerful in that way. And he's using it for good. And actually, I saw that this freedom rally is going to, or freedom convoy, excuse me, is going to set a world record. And I think and I was digging into it a little bit to try to figure out exactly what it was, but I believe it was the largest amount of truckers in unison or in connection with each other or in line. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But have you heard about that? The world record?
About that. And it was, I think it's like the longest convoy like ever.
Okay.
Somebody said that it wasn't officially requested to be reviewed by the Guinness Book. So it is the longest, but it's not like official. This is the last thing, you hear so much.
Yeah.
So somebody's just trying to pick at it and say, well, it's not like an official number, but yeah, it is. Oh, I've heard so many different numbers. I don't know how long it is, like 100 miles by now. Wow. On highway speed. Like when it was going through Winnipeg, they were slowing down because they had to go around the perimeter of the city. And it was, yeah, it took a while to go by, but it was like a little more exciting because you could see them kind of closer together. Out on the highway, they're going highway speed, but there is like on the east side of Winnipeg, there is a little about 15, maybe 10 minutes east of Winnipeg. There is a place called Deacon's Corner, and from there on for 40 kilometers, which is I don't know about 26 miles maybe. There were people all on the side of the road, the side roads. And that's the center of Canada. That area there is the center of Canada. So they had fireworks. They were just, it's just everybody, people are so happy to stand next to each other, to smile at each other, to not feel like, oh, I can't talk to you. I can't.
Right.
Yeah. It's
I
just an
was just
amazing
going to ask
feeling.
you, how's the camaraderie amongst, I almost said patriots, but amongst Canadians?
There are Canadians who call themselves patriots. Like, yeah.
I love that. I
It's
love
amazing.
That is fantastic. And I'm so happy to see that our neighbors up north are doing this, right? Because I mean, historically, and you can talk to this historically speaking, Canadians as a collective really don't like to be involved in the world drama, right? Like they like to just have a peaceful
we have that reputation, being polite and just apologetic, and to a point many of us are.
Right.
But you know what? You get to a point where you've had enough and you come to your breaking point, and it's been really bad in the area where I live. It's just people have felt so defeated, and it was just time for a change, somebody to do something. And the truckers are it's just amazing. It's just I can't get enough of like seeing the different, where they're entering into this city and the next city. It's just, and I feel like my brother and his wife live in Toronto, so they're driving to Ottawa tomorrow. It's 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
And I said, you have to make it work, because as great as it was here, it just gathered momentum as the further it got to Ottawa, because more trucks joined along the way, including, from what I heard, thousands of American truckers, which is I just feel like this is bringing so many different people together. Like you kind of like, everybody lives their own life. They kind of stay with, you stay with your groups, with your people, right? But it was everybody was everyone's friend the other day. It was like -25. Everybody was freezing their butts off, but nobody wasn't smiling. There was high fives. There was just, it was joy. It's like we haven't seen that in a couple of years, and it's just, it was so overdue.
People are craving community more now than ever. And so I'm so excited that you were able to experience that. I know I've attended a few rallies here locally, and it's such a great experience. And then the really the energy is infectious. And so I really feel like I've been talking about for myself personally, that this year is the year of boots on ground, getting out and doing those things like what you did, attend the rally, get out. And we can watch it online all day long, but nothing beats the in-person energy.
Like, the day after, I wanted it to be yesterday again, so we could go back and do it again. It felt like, so then you watch because you just want to feel that excitement again. It was amazing.
That is so, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that's incredible. And it lit a fire in your belly. You can tell. And that right there is so incredibly powerful. That awakening is what is going to make the change. And I know my aunt lives, I don't know if you've heard of Blaine, Washington, but it's like the tiny little tip. Anyway, she's going to go to the border and record there, because we do have U.S. truckers. I mean, they're going to block the borders, right?
Right.
And so she was going to go and send me some footage. So I'm looking forward to that. So the objective is, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because I haven't done a ton of research into this, but the objective is end the mandates. Otherwise, we are going to continue this freedom convoy, and we're not going to be delivering goods across the nation. Do you know if there are any other demands outside of mandates?
I feel like that is the main thing, like end the mandates, like not only for truckers, for all Canadians. Like no more forced vaccination, no more vax cards when you want to go into it, because they're already stores in Quebec, which is east of Ottawa, and they can't go into a Costco or a Canadian Tire, which is like a big hardware store. They can't go into those stores already if they're not vaccinated. And we've seen signs of different places across Canada, probably just like where you can't go into a grocery store. That's starting on the East Coast. And I don't know if that's actually taken effect, but we were told or heard it say that it was going to happen in January. And so that is just, for me, I'm thinking it's where is it going to end?
Right.
And
right.
if the further it goes, the harder you have to fight.
Exactly.
And, like, and the
exactly.
mandates, like, so that, kids already can't play sports if they're not vaccinated up like
Wow.
12 and up, and their parents can't watch them if the parents are not vaccinated. There are doctors telling people that they can't be their doctor anymore if they're not going to get vaccinated. Find somebody else.
Wow.
There is, people taking pictures of unmasked people in the grocery stores, and the Winnipeg newspapers are going to print it. And we have it, like, especially the area that I live in directly in southern Manitoba, we have been vilified from across Canada because we have the lowest vax uptake, but yet we have the lowest case count per 10,000. The highest vax uptake has the highest case count per 10,000 people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and we all, like, this is a big area and most of us feel the same. Yeah, so we have been vilified. We are, yeah, I don't know how to say it, but you go out into a store and, like, if I dare not to wear a mask, and I'm thinking, you almost feel like you're dirty because
Right.
that's how they've been making us feel, that, we're dirty, we're unclean, we're always contagious. And that is
Right.
just so far from the truth.
Right. And that's what they did. That's what they did to the Jews. I mean, that is what happened. I remember, not even kidding, within the last 3 years, I asked my dad, of course, that was before all of this. I remember saying, because we were watching the History Channel, I remember saying, how did it ever get that far with the concentration camps and, with the Nazis and the Jews? And I'm like, wow, over these past 2 years, it's answered all of my questions. It's absolutely insane, because that's what they said. The Jews carried disease. The Jews are dirty. And then that's what happened. Then people believed it. And that's what they're doing now. And I'm with you. When I go into a grocery store, I don't wear one 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I have to, like, put on mental body armor because no one has said anything to you, or excuse me, to me, which is amazing. But just knowing, just knowing that that's a very likely potential, you just feel uneasy, and I'm so tired of it.
Yeah.
And so now I was going to ask you, up in Canada, really, what is, like, the day-to-day life been like since all the mandates, not diving too much into the vax as a collective, but more like shutdowns and just day-to-day life.
There have been lots of shutdowns, like early in, was it, I think, March of 2020. Then they went to our school divisions in the area went to remote learning, so that, a lot of people had to stay home from work because they had young school age kids, and there's, like, not that many babysitters available. So it really affected, like, the whole family, not just the students. And, the teachers hated it. And a lot of small businesses, like, I go to a hairdresser that she has a little salon in her home. She couldn't even be open.
Wow.
Like, that was just widespread. And yeah, and you had to, I think at certain times it was at 10% capacity in certain stores, like at the grocery store, 10%. So they had people waiting at the door to check you in. There are people being, chased down from the COVID police in some of our stores. And there was the one time, Kristen, me and my youngest son, he turned 18 last July. We went to, it's kind of like Subway where you make your own burrito.
Okay.
It's called Bar Burrito. So we went there and we pull up, and I'm going to grab the mask. And he says, no, Mom. Because I hadn't really been brave enough to go without one. But he, like, his girlfriend's family, well, his wife's now, he got married.
Aw.
They are very, like, they are gung-ho. Like, her dad has never yet worn a mask except when they went on a flight. But anyway, me and Daniel went into the store. There was a man who was standing about probably 6 to 8 feet behind us, and he was yelling at us. He called us murderers. He says, I can't believe this. He says, you're murderers. He called us out a couple of times. He was just yelling it. And my son said, he says, we're exempt, or he laughed at him or whatever. And the guy said, I'm leaving. I'm thinking, what if somebody had talked to his wife or one of his kids that way? Like, this is a man talking to me and my son like that. Like, and the people who were working there, they didn't say anything either way. And they treated us like they were just very kind and polite to us. There was no issues, but
wow,
I think
they're
we
probably
were all
over it too.
But it happens. It happens all the time. I hear stories like that all the time.
That is so disgusting. And people that work in retail settings, they don't make enough money to be the mask police. I mean, it's like, and we're seeing that around here. They used to, maybe a year and a half ago, they were like, please put your mask on. Now they don't say a thing. They're so over it also. Yeah. Half of them have it hanging down by their chin anyways, and whatever, good for them.
Absolutely.
That's horrible that you know what it is? It's people are just operating in fear. And they're so scared, and really it's the media that's got them so worked up and so concerned that they're just living in fear, and so there's lashing out. So and that's something early on my mom said. She was like, I refuse to live in fear. And so she's like, this is before we knew how everything was playing out. She's like, if this is how I go, that's how I go, but I refuse to live in fear. And and
I agree with your mom.
Right. It's like, let's live life. Like, let's carry on and enjoy our life, and that's what we've done, and we're still here. So
and it affects people who have family in hospitals too. Like, my mom passed away last year. She was in hospital for 11 weeks before she passed away. And so then you have this, you have a check-in. You have to check in, answer all these COVID questions before you can go in, and only a certain amount of people are allowed in the room every 20. So we had to we had to pick, like, well, there's only 4 of us, but my one brother's in Toronto. So they were letting 4 people who could come see her at that time. And, but only 2 in a 24-hour period. So you kind of had to schedule and
okay.
So it's really difficult. And other people have had it where there was nobody with their loved one when they passed away. It's just so ridiculous. It just drives me nuts. And I know so many good friends who walked away from healthcare here.
Right.
And they love their job, but they weren't going to, they were able to walk away and find something else, because we have our economy is really good where I live. So that's a blessing that there's always jobs available. You just have to be willing to look for them.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
And so, and when it comes to your own family, now it's like my sister is saying where she works, she's a radio host. She has been for 20 years.
Awesome.
So she says too, now they're going to implement this thing I think in January or February. So for people like that, I was just praying, God, do something, help us end this.
Right.
Because you don't want to see your family or your friends or anybody have to make that decision, because it's such a stupid mandate. Whoever thought it was a good idea, and the narrative has changed so much. I don't know about where you live.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It went from, once 70% of the people are vaccinated, we can kind of go back, and it was just, okay. No, every time you reach to one step, then they kind of change the goalposts, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah,
that has been the same thing here. It's like dangling this carrot, especially. So I'm in the state of Oregon, which is an ultra liberal state, because of Portland, it dictates the entire state, which is so frustrating. But the same thing, our governor is a dictator, and she does the same stuff. Once we hit this, then you can have this. Oh, we've hit it. Yep. Moving the goalpost, dangling that carrot. And so it's never going to end. And that's why I really like seeing that Freedom Convoy actually saying, you know what, you guys, you're going to have empty shelves. Like, you're straight up going to have empty shelves. I'll tell you what, I just went to the grocery store. I don't know if you've heard of Fred Meyer. It's part of Kroger, but we have Fred Meyer here locally. And I mean, I did the click order thing where you can just click cart and you just go pick it up. There was $100 worth of groceries that they said weren't on the shelves. And so, so like I say my order was $350. When I finally got the checkout, it was $250. They literally said that they were out of all of those groceries, and
$100 worth.
Yeah, just didn't have it on the shelves. And I'm talking like chicken tenders, like just like uncooked, like just things that they always have. So we're already seeing that. But I'm okay. I've been stocking up. I've got my emergency supplies. It's so important. It's like, you know what? If there's going to be bare shelves, maybe that's going to wake some more people up. People that have been, thinking this whole thing is a big conspiracy theory. No, like these, the truckers are out there doing this. There are boots on ground in a big way, and it's going to impact everybody. And I hope to God it does, because that's going to wake up. We call it red pilling here. It's going to red pill a lot of people.
I'm on a group called the Red Pills, so yeah.
Oh, hey, all right.
Of local people, like we have had rallies here as well. There was like one that was set up in, I think it was end of September, and it was organized within, I think, a day and a half. There was probably 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people, and the city I live is only about 13,000. But the surrounding area is just, this is just where they come to their shopping and restauranting and all that stuff. And it was just so amazing, because that was the first time that I had been at any, because there wasn't usually any rallies here. They would be in Winnipeg. So there was two in a row, Sunday evening, Monday evening, and they tried to ask, we talked to the city council. They wanted to make Winkler a sanctuary city, but they couldn't get anybody to agree with them. And I think our mayor, he kind of went from one, like, first of all, it was like free Manitoba, like open Manitoba, but then he kind of like went along with the narrative for a while. Not that he really pushed it, but he didn't push back. You know what I'm saying? And now he's kind of coming around again to say, this is ridiculous, but still not to the point where he would push to get stuff changed. And so I already heard that they are asking everybody across the country tomorrow to just open up your businesses. Don't ask for vax cards. Don't ask people to mask, nothing. Just let them come in free. And I've already found out that they're going to be, the RCMP or whoever it is in charge is going to be, not the RCMP, the COVID police. They have select people who go around and look for people who are not following the rules. They're going to be scouring this town tomorrow. They said the southern Manitoba area, because they know that people are being advised to do this. Just go out, live your life, especially tomorrow. Like, tomorrow is the day that they want everybody to just go out, be yourself. Businesses don't ask for the vax cards, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen, because if they're going to be handing out like 1,000 tickets, because they're fining people as well.
Wow. Okay, so I do have a question on that. And help me understand. Okay, so the COVID police, are they literally like, so they're separate from police, like they have their own units?
And they're not actually like part of the police department, but if the physical police department is called, if somebody calls and makes a complaint, they are obligated to go investigate it. But our town police or city police, they don't generally go out looking for people who are not following the mandates. But if they get called, they have to go. But I would say it would be maybe like more of a private security company, that they might kind of like give them an honorary, not a badge, but they would be, now you are in charge of going, you can have the authority. They gave them the authority to like
almost like deputize.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I see.
And I haven't seen any of these people. We hear the stories that at our superstore, if you look up to the second floor where the photo lab used to be, if it's dark, that means there's people up there watching.
Oh, good Lord.
And if the lights are on, it's just being used as their break room, because the staff really don't give a rat's butt if we are masked or not.
Good. But that is so crazy.
It's the people walking around in the store who are, Like, and I tell you, Kristen, half of them, like being a former masker, I would mask all the time just because I wanted to avoid conflict.
Right.
I would be walking around and I'd see somebody barefaced and I'm thinking, oh, I wish I was as brave as they are. So I know half
Yeah.
the people who I'm still seeing with them, they're just doing it to avoid conflict. And I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I really
I
do.
don't enjoy conflict.
No, I'm with you. I don't either. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so easy just to put one on sometimes just to avoid that. But then I have to remind myself, I'm
Yeah.
ripping it off. Remind
I
myself
don't
why I do it.
I
But
know. And all I
know.
wear now is like it's mesh. There was a lady in a little village close by and she made them for $6 a piece.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
nobody
Exactly.
ever says
Yeah.
anything against it. And I thought they're all useless. Like I almost passed out last January and like wearing one of the blue ones that you get at the drugstore, I guess.
Right.
I don't know if they're medical. They're not really the medical grade, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
those I've
I
always
know.
hated.
And at the gyms, they want you to wear it at the gym. I'm like, do you
Yeah.
literally want me to pass that on your treadmill? I mean, that's
Yeah.
insane. So yeah, I'm with you. I am so over this. I want to ask, how do you think the Freedom Convoy is going to end?
You know, I honestly feel it's going to end well because it's just Trudeau has shown his colors time and time again. Like, and he's hiding. We all predicted it like a week ago already. As soon as we got wind of this convoy, he's either going to take off to, to like a vacation home or hide somewhere. So now
Yeah.
he's hiding under the guise of, well, he was exposed to somebody that was sick.
I thought I saw
Like,
that.
of course, like
Yeah.
we just didn't know how he was going to hide.
Yeah.
And apparently he said he's following the Ottawa health rules or whatever. That is not. People have posted pictures of the actual rules. He doesn't have to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's saying he's following the rules,
exempt from it.
but the rules say the opposite. He is not required to based on his circumstances.
Wow. You know who else
Yeah.
did that? Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He totally did that too, right at the height of a crisis happening there. He's like MIA for 2 weeks because he was
Really?
exposed. Oh yeah. I think it was
Oh, my
over the
goodness.
summer, but it's like they are the biggest wimps. And I almost use a different word that starts with a P. But yeah, it's like, come on, guys. All right. Well, this has been incredibly enlightening. And I really appreciate thank you for coming on. Thank you for speaking out. And
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so cool to know that we have Canadians on the same page as us, because honestly, I don't really feel like until recently that Canadians have been represented in this light. Like, we actually have freedom-loving patriots up north that care
Lots
about
of
ensuring that freedoms remain intact for them as well. So thank you for really
And there's
speaking out.
a lot of us, and they're not going to leave till he either resigns or all mandates are lifted. And
Awesome.
they're going to stay there however long they need to stay there. And my prayers are with them millions of people are just watching from around the world, supporting us,
Yes.
donating, praying. And it's just amazing. It's just such a touching moment in humanity. And it's going to go down in the history books. Like I'm pretty sure it's something for the history books because it's
Absolutely.
unprecedented and it's so exciting, Kristen.
It is very. Do you know where people could donate if they want to?
Well, I think now the main one is the GoFundMe. It's like Freedom Convoy 2022 GoFundMe.
Okay.
I checked, I had it written down there, but it was $7.6 million.
Really?
About
That's
2 hours ago when I
exciting.
checked. Yeah, and it's been going for like a week. And I think
Fantastic.
it's the 11th fastest growing campaign in GoFundMe history.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I think it's the second biggest in Canadian history.
Well,
So
that is amazing. I heard Trudeau is trying to shut it down.
well, yeah, that's what we've heard, but they've already started dispersing some funds already. There's
Good.
a lawyer and an accountant who are kind of handling the fine details of it.
Good.
So it's very well organized, and yeah, they said that the GoFundMe people have been really good to deal with.
That is fantastic because
Yeah.
the organization leads to the longevity and the longevity leads to the ultimate goal. So that is fantastic. I'm happy to hear everyone has their ducks in a row and this is a legitimate organization
Oh, my
happening.
goodness. It is, and
Very
but
exciting.
even aside from that, there's like thousands of people along the way who are like just bringing food and just like
beautiful
feeding, like just giving them like on the highway, giving them like bags with sandwiches and chips, a muffin, a drink, whatever. Like just so many people are just being so generous, giving what they can. Like
yes,
some are giving money, some are giving like physical nourishment and other things, washer fluid, like all sorts of things, like things that you don't necessarily think about.
Right.
So it's just
yeah, needed. Wow, that is so
keep
cool. I
watching.
love that. What was that?
Keep watching.
I will. Well, I just started following the Instagram account, and so I'm really excited. Actually, I think there's 2 that I just started following. So there's a lot of posts. So I'm going to be able to stay on top.
They're going constantly, and
so cool.
It's just heartwarming. It's emotional. It's humanity as it should be. That's all I can say.
Yes. Well, it is possible. Just look what SCOTUS did for us in the United States on the 7th. So really huge. And though that didn't pan for healthcare workers yet, there were so many of us that were positively affected by the OSHA mandate being dropped. So I hope for the same for Canada, and it can happen. So thank you again, Tammy, and hang in there.
Thanks for having me on, Kristen.
Yeah, thank you so much, and please stay in touch. I will
do
see
that.
how this plays out.
Thanks a lot. God bless you.
Oh, you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night. All right, you guys. Truly inspirational. All right, don't forget that we are partnered with MyPillow. Mike Lindell. He is the victim of cancel culture. Banks are dropping him now. You can go on mypillow.com. We have our own code RAM, up to a 60% discount. I've done the math myself to make sure it's legitimate. It is. It's a hefty discount. Check it out. Gifts for family and friends, birthdays, anniversaries, etc. Have a wonderful night. See you next Thursday.
We're Canadians. Thank you for the support from America. We love it. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the support from America. Yeah, I think that's a lie too. Let's give everyone a show. Amazing. Right here, Parliament Hill, Ottawa, Ontario. Right at the middle. From Texas, awesome. Hi from Michigan, Romania. Is this was the vaccine mandate? Yes. USA, thank you so much. Stand with you, Michigan, awesome. Washington, thank you. New York State, Florida, Indiana, London, nice. People from all over. North Bay, Newfoundland, awesome. Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, Arizona. Alabama, upstate New York, Illinois, Florida, Massey, Minnesota, BC, North Carolina, Sarnia, Netherlands, awesome, Kingston, Barrie, Italy, Durham region, Florida. I love this. This is awesome, guys. Bronx, New Jersey, Saskatchewan, Quebec. Montreal, Saskatchewan, London, Ottawa, Alberta, Norway, Hamilton, I'm from Hamilton, Florida, Maple Ridge, Edmonton, love it, Strawberry, yeah, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Indiana, Bayfield. Old buildings, yes they are. Very old buildings. Very old. Quebec, Minnesota. Kentucky, Oshawa, Kitchener, Sudbury, Timmins. Yeah, I guess you could say it's a traffic jam. This place needs law enforcement. There you go. Law enforcement. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Louisiana, Nova Scotia, Niagara Falls, Florida. Yeah, my ears are ringing, but it's awesome. It's a good ringing. Texas. Let's go, Brandon. Oswego, New York. Nice. I drive through there all the time. Much love from Arizona, Ireland, Toronto, Wisconsin, Nova Scotia. Woo! Let's go! New Jersey, Etobicoke, Ireland, London, Timmins. Thank you for all the gifts.
You can just stay live as long as you want.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. People all over like a lot of people are saying where they're from: Virginia, Michigan, Manitoba, Columbia, Louisiana, Texas, Nevada. That's COVID. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Alabama, Texas. Yeah, no, Quebec, Fort Erie. Let's go, Brandon. Buffalo, Colorado. Amazing. And then I get these gifts from people in the office too. Love the gifts, that's awesome. Freedom, March. That's amazing. So much patriotism here. It's just cool. I know! This guy's arm has got me so sore. I love this. Oh yeah. Vermont. Whoop, whoop. California. Oh, look at that. There you go, it's on you. The hat was on you for a second. That's awesome. Jamaica. Holy smokes. That's amazing. South Carolina. Virginia, Ohio. Look, these comments are coming into fast pain and read them. Amazing. And not sure what those lights are. That's kind of cool. Wow. People just love saying this, I guess. Parliament Hill. Yeah. This is sick. Oh, I got another hat. Somebody sent me another hat. Finland and Russia. Wow. Missouri. Minnesota, North Carolina, Maryland.
Those trucks went in here on the weekend and lied, were they?
I don't think so. They just made their way in. Michigan, Alabama, United Kingdom even. That's pretty cool. Wow. Good morning. Wake everyone up. Everyone needs to have their morning coffee. That's awesome. Holy smokes, look at 700,000 likes on this video. 700,000 likes. Unbelievable. And it's still going. 703, 704. It's gonna hit a million. Just keeps climbing. there's thousands of trucks here. Man, yeah, his arm has got to be so sore. Oh, the other guys are filling in for him. Oh, here he goes again.
He's got to hang a string down on his lap.
What?
He's got to hang a string down on his lap.
I know. Look at this. Woo! Love it. That's sick. Oh, that sounds so good. Roll call, roll call. Justin Trudeau needs to get a sniff of that. Oh, this is sick. Look, 770,000 likes now. It's unbelievable. They sang out Canada earlier and they put this big flag in the air. Right in the middle of Parliament. I turned around for 2 seconds and I did it again. Woo! Woo! Make some noise, boys! Make some noise! No, diesel's not cheap. Oh, Canada. Watch it, we're for Antifa, yeah. Hell yeah. That's amazing, guys. I love it. It's about -10 Celsius. There's cops everywhere. Here's the cops for you. They're gonna arrest us? I don't think so. Stop! The West convoy is still stuck on the highway. You can hear me? Don't comply. Freedom. Earplugs, yeah. inside Parliament right now? Holy moly. How is this racist? I don't get it. No, it's nothing to do with race. Exactly. 1 million likes on this video. Thank you so much, guys. Keep it coming. Thank you so much for all the gifts, everybody. Illuminator. Awesome. Ivy Flow. Thank you for all the support, guys. Really appreciate it. Oh wow, this trucker's getting coffee. See, look at this, how awesome people are bringing us coffee. So kind people out here. Holy moly, my ears are ringing. That's awesome. Yeah, people just keep coming, bringing us food, coffee, everything like that. My truck's not even close to here. There's just too many trucks downtown. Can't even get anywhere close to here. My truck's, I had to walk about probably 2 kilometers.
It is necessary to purge the establishment.
What she's suggesting that churches do, focus on.
That's not necessarily a good thing to start with.
They're stating it wasn't around when we needed the greatest generation of the 30s or 40s or.
It happened before the election because there are too many Republicans that are afraid that their wrongdoings are going to.
It's unacceptable, and I'm not going to sit here, stay silent, and not call it out. I'm calling out their lies.
Do they think that we are so stupid that we will